us off and give me a little bit of background about yourself and a fluid girl?
Sure. Yeah. So I guess you could say I'm a well-rounded person when it comes to all the things that I've been into over the years. I started off as a dancer, and well, ever since I was little, basically, but then started taking it more seriously in the early 2000s when I got into street dancing. And I did a street dance style called popping, and did dance competitions for quite some time, which then led to performances. And then not too long after I started, doing performances and things like that, I just felt this real strong call to start meditating. And so I had recently just moved to the Bay in 2002, and about 2003, 2004, I was getting the call to like step into my healing work. And so I looked up meditation in Berkeley because I was living in Emeryville at the time, and I found a psychic meditation school. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So I went to a psychic meditation school where I learned how to do clairvoyant readings and learned how to do psychic meditation, which then led me to other aspects of my healing persona, where I got into body work and energy work later on, a few years after I did my psychic training, and got into all kinds of stuff where I was working with people with cancer and helping people with readings. And, along with that, I was also dancing and performing. So I had I wouldn't say that it was kind of two separate lives, because it was always me in the middle, but one was kind of going this way and one would kind of go that way. And sometimes I'd do more healing work and then the dancing would kind of fade. And then I'd go more dancing and then the healing would kind of fade. So it was kind of like I was always trying to learn how to bridge the two aspects of my passions, basically. And after a while, it kind of blended into like healing performance, where I created a company called Follow the Trees, where I would do healing performance based in bringing forth messages from Mother Earth and bringing forth healing work through my performance. And in that time, that was probably in 2015 to about 2018, where I was also doing a lot of plant medicine work, which then opened up another aspect of my healing work, which became sound healing. So I started working with drums, which I'll show you right here. My beautiful medicine drum, a buffalo skin medicine drum. Very powerful, very grounding energies, all the animal skin drums. And when I was doing the plant medicines, my voice came back, meaning that when I was young, I would sing, and my mother was an amazing singer, and she never did anything with it, but she had an impeccable voice and was a dancer too. So I kind of got that from her. But when I was doing the plant medicine work, the sound healing was coming through very strongly. And, because I was so open psychically, when I would be drumming, these songs would come through, and I would just kind of, be completely neutral to whatever was coming through and just kind of allow spirit to move through me. And these beautiful medicine songs would come through for people, and even myself when I would do self-healing, that were really, not me, but me, And so my sound healing really developed after that. And so I was learning how to balance, the dancing and the performance with the sound healing and the healing work. And that's kind of what I've been doing the past few years. And now recently, it's so funny how things just keep developing. My name is Fluid Girl, so things are always fluid. They're always moving, right? So now I'm DJing. So it's so funny how, the sound, sound is, if you think about music, it's so healing for all of us on so many levels. Like, it's powerful, it's healing, it's emotional, it's angry, it's all these expressions that we all experience, right? So now my sound healing is kind of going into DJing. So it's interesting to see how this keeps morphing and shifting. So this is where I am today. So I am mostly doing sound healing now. I'm not doing so many readings anymore, because I'm also now a new mother with a almost 9-month-old baby. So my focus is quite different these days. It's very much focused on her. But when I do have time to myself, I am DJing and focusing on music and doing sound healing and offering that to people right now currently. So that's kind of me in a nutshell on some level, but that's where I am today.
Well, first, congratulations on your new addition.
Oh, thank you.
That's great. Who do you think benefits from sound healing, like you were speaking about? Like, do you think there's like certain people that's a good healing technique for?
Well, in my opinion, I believe that sound healing is good for anybody who wants to receive it. You know, if they're feeling, whoever is feeling the call to it, meaning a curiosity about it, you know, someone who wants to, you know, I've been thinking about doing that. That's usually a call to the medicine, I believe, of sound. So, yeah, but I believe anyone can benefit from it. It can be children. I mean, I've drummed for my little girl and she's so hilarious. Like she holds the drum now. Like she'll hold it and she'll be like, you know, so I believe it's in all of us, you know, and in the training that I've had with energy work and the psychic work, I was taught that intrinsically we are vibrational beings. So, and we are actually, our spirit is made of light and sound. So whenever you're doing sound healing, it's almost like a recognition and understanding of who you are. So sometimes what happens with some people when they hear a drum, they'll just be like standing there and they'll hear it and it's like boom, like something in them just says, whoa, what is that? And it's like, I know that sound. I know this sounds familiar. And for some people, when they hear animal skin drums, they'll have like these crazy experiences where, you know, they'll have like past life things come up for them, or it'll just feel really familiar to them, like they've known this sound or it's a call to them. So yeah, it's just interesting what people can experience with it. But again, kind of going back to your initial question, I believe that anyone, you know, can benefit from it, but especially those people who are curious about it, those are the ones that are getting the call to it.
Now, unfortunately, because of COVID-19, I saw that you had to cancel your events. So can you speak on your events, your group events?
Yeah, I mean, this is where we're at, you know, and it's okay. But now I am getting people who are interested in doing virtual sound healing. So, I mean, it's an experiment that I'm going to be doing right now. And I've done like a few things online, but the thing with the bowls, like the crystal bowls, and I don't have one to show you right now, but they have such a strong resonance. It's when you're in person, you can really feel it more, right? But, you know, through the virtual world, who's to say that you can't still feel it? But yeah, it's unfortunate that we can't be in, you know, the physical space to do it right now, but you know, this is just where we're at. However, the virtual world is calling for this sort of work, so I'm just going to follow that and see, you know, who's interested in it and who wants to do it, because I've had a few people reach out to me that are, you know, interested in giving it a try, and I've told them, like, I don't know how this is going to go, you know, we can just try it and see what happens. And you know, I believe that sound can travel through many different forms, and if it needs to be digital right now, then I fully trust that.
That's great. I like that you can do that virtually now, because I think some people may not think that's an option. So it's really great that you're
Yeah.
offering that now.
Yeah.
How do you, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, thanks. How are you dealing with the stress and anxiety of what's going on right now in your own home?
Yeah, I think at first it was, I mean, I don't want to say I was in denial, but it was more sort of like, is this actually happening? You know, just sort of like the shock of it, I guess you could say. However, I will say that my life wasn't affected too much because I was already pretty isolated with my daughter. Any new parent will tell you that, you know, when you have a brand new baby, it can be pretty isolating because you're at home with the baby if you're able to be, if you're not working. And I'm fortunately very grateful to be able to be with my daughter, that I'm in a situation where I can raise her in that way. But my life has been pretty isolated because of that, because I'm with her basically all day long. So, and then my husband works from home, so we weren't necessarily that affected, although, you know, there's different things coming in that are affecting us and we're just sort of riding with it. But I mean, I would say on an kind of a psychic energy level, I listen to a lot of other healers and people that talk, and astrologers out there that have been mentioning that 2020 was going to be kind of crazy. So mentally, I was already sort of in the space of curiosity around what was going to happen. Did I know it was going to come in this form? Absolutely not. Did I think any of us know? Absolutely not. You know, but that's the beauty of us learning that we don't know. And I think that personally, on a global level, we're all learning how to be comfortable, if we can, with not knowing, and to realize that we absolutely have no control over what's going on, you know. And a lot of us, I think, are trying to grasp onto the meaning. You know, there's so many new agers that are out there like, oh, it's this, it's that, it's the fifth dimension consciousness, it's this conspiracy theory. You know, I'm going to admit, I've been kind of reading some of that stuff too, but ultimately we don't know, you know, and we just have to learn how to sit in that, which can be hard.
Very difficult. Do you
Mhm.
recommend any resources or any like techniques that can help calm people in their homes right now?
Well, I think rather than sending people to resources at the moment, although I do have a few, I would say the first resource essentially that all of us have is our breath. Since this virus does affect the lungs, I firmly believe that us learning how to breathe and to keep ourselves calmer and to slow down, which is what this social distancing, isolation is asking all of us to, on some bigger level, is to come inside, be still, quiet yourself, sit in the eye of the storm, because this is where we're at. And another teacher that I'll share with you later, he talks about this being the eye of the storm. Like if you can sit in the middle and just allow everything to spin around you, because there's going to be stuff going on. You're going to be reading stuff, hearing stuff, social media, this, that, news, blah, 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 feeling people cough around you and just sitting in the eye of the storm and learning to be as calm as you can, focusing on your breath, counting into 10, breathing out to 10, breathing, just a few little moments of that makes a huge difference on your stress levels, how it affects your body. So I would say number one, coming to your breath, because that's with you all the time. You can always resource it. You don't have to go to your phone to get it. You don't have to go to your computer. You don't have to go to a person, call this. It's right here with you. And your body is literally the temple that hosts your soul. So, or that your soul hosts in some theories. So if you can just come back to this place, you know, put your hands on your heart, hand on your little, you know, your power center right here, and just focus and just breathe, just check in. I do this visual exercise where I will literally go inside, because we're very out, right? Looking in this peripheral. But if you go in, you check in, just kind of bring your awareness in and just go, body, how are you doing? Check in. Like, how are you, body? How are you? How are you feeling? And it's amazing sometimes what you'll sense and what you'll feel and what you'll receive just from that check-in, you know, because your body is receiving so much information all the time, you know, from outside sources, from computers, from phones, from people, from energies. And if you can just check in, that's also a really great way to kind of ground into how you're feeling and what's happening for you. But essentially the breath as well is number one.
That's really incredible because I've heard so many people, I know I can relate to it. I'm like checking my phone, I'm looking at updates, I'm
Yeah.
thinking about older family members. There's so much stress going around, and I think it's so important to take those few moments and check in.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, I just like to leave like an open time. If there's anything I can ask that you want to bring up, if there's any message you want to give to people, this is a wonderful place to put that.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I just want to share my condolences to anyone who has lost anyone during this time. I specifically just lost both my parents recently over the past few years. And I lost my dad, oh my gosh, how long has it been now? Over a year ago. And I got pregnant right after my dad died. So I know what loss is like, and how hard it can be to receive it. And in times when sometimes it's sudden. Although my dad's death wasn't necessarily sudden, it was within 2 weeks, but it was really intense and really fast. And with my mom, it was kind of the same. So my heart goes out to anyone who's lost anyone. And I know that, you know, this time we're feeling it on a collective level, because there's a lot of people that are passing and we're all watching, you know. So it's I just want to share that first and foremost. And two, that, you know, I really believe that even though this is so hard on all of us, on some level, there's a gift in all of it. And I've just been reminded to go into the deep trust with a capital T. a deep trust that something bigger is going on, and that we have to just surrender into that trust. And even though, there's a lot of loss going on, there's also a lot of good things that are coming up. So it's this balance of like being in the middle of, the turmoil versus the good things. And, if you are someone that's healthy, ground in your health for all of us, because we are all connected. Celebrate every single day how healthy you are, every single day if you can, and anchor that, ground it right into the earth. Just thank you, earth. Thank you, body. Thank you for being healthy. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for my life. Thank you for whatever. Gratitude and appreciation raises your vibration. So anchor that into the earth, anchor that into your body, because it really will send out a ripple to anyone else who might need that vibrational ripple. I would just recommend doing that. I've been making an effort to do that. I've been doing prayers more now than ever to Great Spirit, Great Mystery, Supreme Being, whatever you want to call God, Goddess, whatever your experience is in that realm. And just being grateful for my life. I say, thank you for my life. Thank you for my breath. Thank you for my daughter's health. Thank you for my husband. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's amazing, like, when you go into those spaces of appreciation and prayer, and whatever it is to you, prayer is just an idea of like being present with, your spirit, your connection, and just honoring your life, because it's so fleeting and it's so fast. And I think right now we're really understanding that too, with, this virus that's around, and it also, these contrasts will really show us where it is important to be appreciative. So just a reminder of that, to anchor that in, to your life, and to share that with other people, and keep your loved ones close, because they are so precious. And yeah, and to deeply, if you can, find the trust in this. And yeah, again, there's just a bigger thing going on, and we won't know until we're on the other side of it, when that will be. We all really don't know. And just to, if you can, find your joyful moments. Don't watch my recommendations. Don't watch this pandemic that I'm seeing on Netflix that people are telling me about they're watching right now. I'm like, don't watch that. Like, watch uplifting things. Watch things that make you happy. Watch things that are positive, because it's going to raise your vibration. It's going to give you hope. It's going to make you feel lighter, because if you're watching that stuff that's scary, and it's just going to keep you held in that state. And just as a recommendation, laugh as much as you can, watch things that are funny. Like, on a side note, I just posted this really funny clip of my daughter on Facebook, where my husband, he had her under a shelf and he kept popping her up. And it was super silly and playful. And I've had so many people just commenting, saying, thank you for this. She's so amazing. We need this joy. So if you have any funny clips, post them. Be a love spreader. Don't be a pandemic scare, fearful spreader. Be a love, joyful spreader, because we need a lot of that right now. A lot of people are really feeling the fear and feeling, the uncertainty of what's happening. So spread as much joy and love and laughter and goodness as you can, because we all need it.
Thank you so much. I think that's such a wonderful reminder for people to focus on the positive in such a time that pushes you to face the negative. So thank you for that. And thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. The waking hour was very appreciative.
Yeah. Real quickly though, before I release you, I wanted to give you 2 references from 2 resources. Actually, I'll give you 3, which are really amazing. So the first one is a spiritual teacher. His name is Bashar, and he is amazing. He's channeled by this guy named Daryl Anka. So, and he has tons of clips, and he did a talk on 2020 called The Eye of the Storm. And you can get his videos from bashartv.com, I believe. Okay. Incredible downloads from this person and being, because he channels a being. The second person who's been doing really lovely and supportive meditations, and who I've been following for years doing their free meditations, is Deepak Chopra. On Instagram, he's been putting stuff almost every day to help people to remember to breathe, and to doing these beautiful meditations. He's just an amazing man in general, and has such a beautiful frequency. So he's another one. And then the third one is an astrologer that I've been listening to over the years, who's just amazing, and he's really funny. He brings like joy, because he's such a character, and I love him. Is Tom Lesher, and you can find him on YouTube. He does weekly reports. His company's called New Paradigm Astrology. So I highly recommend him. He's spot on with his astrology if you ever follow astrology. And he's also such a character. He's really funny and he's real. And he's kind of like the surfer dude. I don't think he's a surfer, but that's kind of my version of him. And he's hilarious. And I love him so much. And he's just a good guy, you can tell. So those are 3 resources that I find myself going to that I would like to put out there for people if they find that they want to, go into that realm.
Great. We will definitely link that with the video, as well as your information as well.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Again, I really appreciate your time, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Yeah. Thank you, Victoria. It was lovely to virtually meet you. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too. Stay healthy.